Oh great, another list! I can hear you complaining, but I don't think you've seen one quite like this before. How's it going, Guardians? Refund here, and welcome to another video. Now, today I wanted to pose an idea for you. What if you had Destiny weapons in the Zombies game mode of Call of Duty? More specifically, Black Ops 3. What would be the best options available to us? That's what I'm going to determine today. Now, this is one of the most well-researched videos that I've ever made. Using my current knowledge, I will determine what I think are the 10 best weapons from Destiny to be ported over, and I may even discuss how the weapons would be if they were to be put into the Pack-a-Punch machine. Now, just to clear the air about how this is going to work, I will be basing this episode off what I gather in my research. Now, this isn't all proven or statistical, but there will be opinions in this video as with anything pertaining to a top 10 or any kind of list. For this list, I will be looking at the Black Ops 3 rendition of the Call of Duty Zombies game mode, because it has the most stuff in it and the most comparable and contrastable variables. Also, no armor or class buffs are going to be applied to these weapons. I cannot do any damage scaling for these weapons, I just went numb at the thought. If there are any terms that you will hear that you are not familiar with or don't understand, I'll have a definition put on screen for a few seconds. Anyway, let's get into this! So let's get started with one of the most underrated guns in all of Destiny, period. The No Time to Explain. This weapon is incredible for boss counters with every time you get a hit on a boss's critical spot, which is often the head or a large photoreceptor, the bullets that hit this critical spot are returned immediately to the magazine. Now, there is an immediate problem with this that I need to address. The only critical hit location on a zombie in Call of Duty Zombies is their head, and at some points the weapon would do significant enough damage to take their head off before the other two can collide with the hitbox, meaning for every 3 bullets fired, only 1 will return to the magazine. Of course, by the time higher rounds come by, this is a moot point. But the weapon will lose its power over time, and without the aid of the perk Deadshot Daiquiri, the gun's signature perk won't take effect unless you have above par aim. Anyway, No Time to Explain comes in at number 10. Moving down to our number 9 spot, we have one of the oldest and most famous exotic weapons of all time, the Vex Mythoclast. So what makes this weapon so great? Well, with every hit you get, the weapon gets more stable, which is awesome. And its perk, Crowd Control, which makes the weapon have more damage with the more enemies you kill in a brief amount of time, is equally awesome. Before the tragic Vex Mythoclast nerf of late 2014, the Vex was the king of player versus player and player versus enemy, being right up there with the Gjallarhorn, Black Hammer, and Fatebringer. This thing was a monstrosity. I cannot stress that enough. As a base weapon, it's amazing, and very well could have been a model for a Ray Gun Mark IV in the Zombies timeline. Ironically enough, a mod for this weapon to be usable in Zombies already exists. However, it isn't as cool as I imagined it to be. Its power in that mod is disgraceful to the true legend that the Vex Mythoclast have blessed this community with. My version would be much more like it was originally. Lastly, the Vex has impeccable damage and a fairly good reload speed. However, its ammo count prevents it from achieving genuine greatness. For that, it comes in at number 9. Coming into our number 8 spot, we have the Mida Multi-Tool, the only scout rifle here on the list, but for good reason. It has a bunch of ammo, a quick fire rate, and immensely high mobility. The rifle would be excellent for training and for getting away from the bigger, more powerful enemies in the game, but the biggest problem with the weapon would have to be its damage, which is sad because the weapon has one of the fastest fire rates of any scout rifle in the game, and its reload speed is maximum. Not to mention that it has one of the highest mobilities in the game as well. While double tap would be able to help its poor damage, it just isn't enough to bring it further up the list. Either way, mine is a solid, amazing gun, and it comes in at number 8. Taking our number 7 spot, we have the Red Death. Now, while the Red Death may lack an originality in its perk design, the gun itself is incredibly useful for a lot of situations in Destiny already. With it being a high-tier PvP weapon with its main perk bonus, the Red Death's titular perk allows the player to regenerate their health for each kill that they get, as well as speeding up their reload speed. If you are in a corner and you don't get swiped quick enough, You could make it out no problem because of the health regeneration and the reload speed buff that it offers. Having Speed Cola and Double Tap to help out with the damage and reload speed as well could mean great things for anyone who uses the Red Death in this hypothetical scenario. Anyways, Red Death is great. Let's move on to number 6. Of all the weapons to make it onto the list, you'd think that a sword of all things would be the last thing I would put on here. However, that's where you're wrong. While things such as Double Tap and Speed Cola wouldn't be able to affect the weapon's overall attack power or versatility, the Sword Flay Gobblegum will be able to help out a lot with this by quintupling its already massive damage. The Dart Drinker's Vortex ability allows a player to spin the blade around them, destroying any and all enemies in their immediate area. Which, if you are not an above average zombies player and you are trying training for the first time, the biggest issue of getting accidentally caught on a wall or some other object will surface. Not to worry, with one push of a button, the sword spins around and decimates any and all things that are in your path. Anyways, Dart Drinker is overpowered, and it comes in at number 6. Taking up our number 5 spot, we have the Zalo Supercell. Or as I have recently learned, it can also be called the EK97. Let me just get this out of the way right now. This thing is a beast. Much like the AK-47 from Mob of the Dead and the AN-94 from Black Ops 2, this weapon shares the same aesthetic. The biggest difference being that the weapon reloads into the wooden stock and someone injected it with arc energy. The Zalo's signature perk causes the damage from a round to have a chance to transfer to other enemies. And as you can see by the gameplay here, the weapon shreds a horde of thralls to nothing. And with all the bells and whistles from the Black Ops 3 perks and gobblegums, this weapon is going to decimate any threat that comes your way. The weapon basically has dead wire on it all the time, and while it can't spread that far or do as much damage as dead wire can, it is pretty powerful nonetheless. In conclusion, the Zalo is awesome, and it comes in at number 5. What? Of all things to put in the number 4 spot, you put this? Why? Well, let me explain why this is a good weapon for this game mode before you set my comment section on fire. Oh wait, it's usually empty. Okay, first off, it has got a lot of ammo and a high fire rate. Sure, the damage may not be up to snuff, but here's the thing. You know what the weapon's titular perk does? Guess what? Nearly every bullet you miss gets refunded to the magazine. Nearly every bullet. And in a game mode like Zombies, where every bullet counts, that is an asset that you can't afford to live down. And better yet, if reloading is too slow for you, you can chug a bottle of Speed Cola and reload wicked fast. Lastly, if you don't think the gun can fire any faster, well guess what? There's a little thing called Double Tap, and it not only increases the damage by double, it also doubles the fire rate. If you want even more damage, then you could pack-a-punch the weapon so that it turns into the Bad Omen. So you can fire this weapon like a dang madman in between rounds without a care in the world. Anyway, super good advice. It's an amazing gun in this hypothetical scenario, so it comes in at number 4. Number 3, the Icebreaker. I mean, come on, why wouldn't it be here? So allow me to set the stage. The weapon has infinite ammo, as long as you are patient enough to get it. The gun itself is amazing in PvE, or, well, it was. And in PvP, you didn't have to worry about special ammo crates. In Zombies, if this were to be included, you wouldn't have to worry about special ammo at all. You have only 6 shots, sure, but there are gobblegums that remedy that problem, such as Alchemical Antithesis. The Icebreaker signature perk creates an explosion after an enemy is killed by it, and that explosion causes damage to enemies around it. Sadly, Speed Cola doesn't work on this weapon because it doesn't work on weapons with regenerating ammo or cooldowns. While Double Tap does increase the damage, the Icebreaker doesn't have too much ammo, which prevents it from achieving genuine greatness in this mode. Though, by pack-a-punching the weapon, you double the amount of ammo in the gun, or at least that's what I would like to happen to it. Anyway, the Icebreaker is pretty sweet, comes in at number 3. Number 2. So, Fatebringer. We all know it's incredible. In the last video that I made, I talked about why it was so legendary. does the status that made it so mythic in the first place transition into Call of Duty Zombies? The plain answer is absolutely. Here's the deal with Fatebringer. It's lightweight, it's powerful, it has Firefly, and when triggered, causes immense damage to enemies around it. And with every headshot you get, your reload time gets divided by half. So, when activated, you have a 1.5 second reload time with the Outlaw perk activated, which happens whenever you get a headshot on an enemy. Meaning that with Speed Cola, you have a reload speed time of 0.75 seconds. 3/4 of a second, which is insane! With the combination of Deadshot Daiquiri, Double Tap, and Speed Cola, you could live for nearly as long as you wanted. The weapon is called the Fatebringer for a reason. They didn't name the Pack-a-Punch PPSH the Reaper for no reason. Then again, they named the Pack-Carnadiac the Armageddon, and it's abysmal, so there's that. However, the weapon was sought after, and it's incredibly powerful. But there is only one weapon that surpasses it, preventing it from being the top spot on the list. Number 1, the Bad Juju. So, how is this thing, this pulse rifle, greater than the most powerful hand cannon ever? Well, allow me to explain using a formula I came up with called the survival formula. You see, in Call of Duty Zombies, the way that you get points is by damaging the enemies, and these points are required in order for you to get more powerful weapons, more perks, more items, more everything. The way that you get points safely is by using bullets, and bullets kill the zombies. What does Bad Juju's signature perk String of Curses do? With every kill that you get, you automatically refill the magazine. So what does this do? Well, it means you have infinite points for as long as you can kill zombies. You can increase the damage of this thing by buying Double Tap, you can increase its power even further by Pack-a-Punching it, turning it into the Witch Doctor. You don't even need to buy Speed Cola because the weapon reloads itself. At that point, the literal only thing that would be stopping you would be either boredom, work, or having to do something else. As long as the weapon can kill, and it can, you will last. So that is why it comes in at number 1. And that's my list. Do you disagree? Leave me a comment and tell me why. Anyway, before I log off completely, for those of you who stayed through to the end, thank you. And I'm going to have a new upload schedule that I'm going to implement. Every Monday, I'm going to have a new video published for you guys. Finally, I just reached 75 subscribers, and I have a new idea for a celebration video. You know how usually I make a montage in celebration of reaching a certain milestone on YouTube? The first one I made was when I got to 25 subscribers. The second one was when I got to 50. I made one in between those because, you know, I kind of wanted to make it. It was a little cheesy now that I'm thinking about it. But then I made a fourth one for when I'm coming back and I finally returned to this little hobby of mine. And this time, I didn't want to make it about me. Because you guys are the people who support my channel and my work and the stuff that I do and all the effort I put in. And now, I know that not everyone who has subscribed watches the videos, and you know what, that's okay. I just wanted to say to everyone who subscribed, thank you. All of you. And for that, I'm making this montage all about you. Send me in your best Destiny moments to my email, uwantarefundbuisness@gmail.com, and I will make a montage out of all of your best moments. Anyway, guys, my name is UWantARefund, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!